going to do, as we do each and every week, talk about some of the things happening in the news that relate to Bible prophecy. And Amir, there's a lot of trouble going on in the world. We see situations in the news regarding Cuba. We're watching things happening in the Middle East, and South Africa is in the news. And there seems to be a growing discord between the people of any given country and their government, whatever form it may be. We're in our own country here in the U.S., rather interesting round of elections in Israel, and you've got a coalition there that's a bit distinct from things in the past. And I wanted to ask you, what does this growing distrust and disdain for government have to do with a prophetic scenario? Where is all this going to take us?
Well, first of all, I believe that when we see these things, these are wars and rumors of wars, and people will come against one another, ethnos versus ethnos, ethnic groups versus ethnic groups. For the most part, it's within the same country that they come against each other. For example, in Lebanon right now, yes, it all started as when the country's financial system is collapsing and there's no fuel and there's no electricity, there's no running water. But what it turned into right now is that the Sunnis are against the Alawites, that are against the Shiites, that are against the Christian Maronites, and now it is becoming little groups, one against the other. And we see the same thing going on in Iraq and in Iran. And so in countries like that, where there's so much division between different sects, that's what we see. In other countries, we see discontent of people from their corrupt government, such as in Cuba. Cuba, this is the young generation that is going out to the street right now, and unfortunately, the regime is rounding them up. I believe that what we're watching right now is the birth pangs that Jesus said in Luke 21, Matthew 24. He said that this is not the end, yes, but this is definitely the beginning of the end. And I also believe, and that's a very important point, is that we are watching a leadership crisis all around the world. And it starts with this country. The 46th president is the weakest president this country has seen in many, many years. And the lack of leadership is affecting the whole world. It affects the Middle East. It affects other places. I believe it affects even places far remote, And we're watching things picking up speed. As this world, I believe, is on its way down, and it's picking up speed. And the only way this world will somehow find a solution to stop this is by introducing a completely new way of government that will not be leaning on countries' governments, but on a global scale. And so I believe that what we're watching right now is really the preparation for the rise of the Antichrist. People all around the world are getting very frustrated by their own government, including this country, by the way. And another thing, I'm sorry, my answers are a little bit too long, but the last thing I would say is that we're watching a great change that is happening in society, and unfortunately, it's for the worse, not for the better. We see conservatives that are getting so tired of everything, and they flip, and they get soft, and they compromise. You don't see a woke, globalist, progressive leftist becoming a conservative over the old. You see the opposite. That's what we have in Israel. You just talked about it. We have a yarmulke-wearing prime minister who lied to all of his voters, and they voted for him to do ABC, and what he said he will not do, he did the day after. And he flipped. I mean, a right-wing flipped. A conservative flipped. It's not the opposite. The left stayed the left. The progressives stayed the same. It's just that the right conservatives now flip. And that's the danger that we see. And we see that in this country, and we're going to see that in many other places around the world. Conservatives are becoming rare commodity. And they're so tired of world conflicts and of issues and problems and protests and violence that they just say, you know what, we can get softer and softer in certain issues. And before you know it, it's a different world. And we need to be out of here.
It seems as though this is all preparation for a global cry of peace and security.
Absolutely.
Where people are just tired of whatever it is that the form of government they're under, whether it's communism or socialism, or even here in the kind of the capitalist example of the world, people are having a discomfort with the government, and there's a growing animosity.
But it's funny because the 45th was strong, conservative, and he brought peace and security. I mean, the Middle East has never been so peaceful as in the 4 years of President Trump. And look what we see now. The minute he stepped down, but the minute somebody replaced him, all the mice came out of their holes. And now look what we see. I mean, a sheer collapse of the Middle East right now. And you know, look, everywhere around the world things can happen. When the Middle East is affected, it should tell the rest of the world God is in the mood. Yes, pay attention.
Yeah, it's interesting that you use that word that is so popular today, because everything is seeming to change. Definitions are changing, biological realities and facts are changing. Everything seems to be fluid and moving, and yet the Proverbs tell us to fear the Lord and the King and do not associate with those given to change. I think it's Proverbs 29:12. And yet here we have everyone embracing change of realities that have long been held for thousands of years within humanity are simply thrown out the window. And again, you know, all of this is being fed from the highest places in political positions around the world. And it kind of leads into what I wanted to talk to you about next, and that is something that is clearly stated in Revelation 13, where the Antichrist is going to receive his power and his authority directly from Satan. And because of his empowerment being satanic in nature, the world is going to, by and through that, worship the beast. And there's a rabbi in Israel, and this came out of Israel 365 News, who says that Biden is being manipulated as prophesied in the book of Ezekiel. And he goes on to express that there were some things that Obama did that kind of were phase one, and then Biden is now in phase two, and he ties in Zechariah 12-14. But you know, whether his interpretation of these events is accurate or not, I don't think is the point. But it does remind us that not only is there a progression in wars and rumors of wars, pestilence, the geological things that Jesus talked about in Matthew 24:3-8 that you alluded to, but also we're seeing kind of an open door to satanic influence in the highest places of power. Not that that's new, but now it's
out in the open.
Exactly.
Now they don't hide it; they actually parading it.
And that's another change.
Yes, that's look. The government in Israel is called the government of change. That's how they call themselves, the government of change. And all the changes are for the worst, not for the best, not for anything good. And it kills me because you see something good that somebody, by cheating, takes control of and completely destroys. It's like, hello, I mean, that's not, but again, I have to always balance my two citizenships. You know, I've got heavenly citizenship that gives me a perspective of a son of, you know, God that can call him Abba Father, who knows that there's a better place that is now prepared for me. And I've got my earthly citizenship in my country. Now remember, in my case, I am really in trouble because I'm a Jew, Israeli, and I'm in the heart of a